Do you want to live in one of the new colonies? Are you stuck on deciding which one, or maybe you're just deciding to stay in your homeland and unsure if the colonies over here are actually good? Hi, I'm Joe Durso, and today I'm going to be talking about the amazing things that Pennsylvania has to offer. Our great colony was founded by William Penn under a charter. A charter is a written grant by a country's legislative or sovereign power, by which a body such as a company, college, or city is founded and its rights and privileges defined. He was granted the charter from the King of England, Charles II, because he owed money to Penn's family. William Penn is a Quaker, so he decided to claim Pennsylvania and make it a peaceful type of land. So if you're thinking about settling down in a nice land, filled up with nice people, this is for sure the place for you. Charter was issued in 1681. It granted the land from 12 miles north of Newcastle along the Delaware River until the 49th parallel. The charter did have limitations, but William Penn had not worried about that. To expand his land, he decided to go into good relations with the Native Americans. He made good deals with them. He made many good deals with the Native Americans and bought land from them. The Quakers were also very dedicated and hard-working people, and they worked very hard to make their new colony. If you're someone who also wants to make some money, Pennsylvania is also for sure the place for you. The economy was actually pretty good and revolved around wheat, grain, corn, wheat, rye, hemp, flax, trading, crafting, and agriculture as a whole. This was because of the soil being very good and the climate and the weather being very good. They sold cash crops to most coastal colonies down south where the land is less fertile. In return, they would give fur, wood, lumber, and occasionally slaves. Also, because of the good relation with the Native Americans, they were willing to trade their furs and jewelry for crops as well. Sometimes they would even trade with England. As said earlier, the colony was founded by William Penn, who was a famous Quaker. For this reason, many other Quakers followed. The colony was mainly filled with Quakers, but they're all very tolerant, and most people were accepted into the colony with no questions, depending on their religion, because of their peaceful lifestyle. They were one of the only colonies who didn't completely rip off the Native Americans when they traded. There's really no cons of living in Pennsylvania if you're looking for a place to settle and farm. Pennsylvania was not really a place for looks. It's more of a place for you to settle down and have a nice rest of your life, more like a residential type of place. The first buildings in Pennsylvania were simple, traditional structures built according to folk designs common in colonist country origin. These traditional or vernacular buildings were not just in the colonial period, but throughout the settlement period of the state. The only true architect-inspired style of the colonial period, often found in Pennsylvania, was the Georgian style. This style, based on the classical forms of the Italian Renaissance, originally developed in England in the 17th century and was introduced in the colonies around 1700, and is prevalent style in Pennsylvania for about 100 years, from 17 to 1800. One of the most enterprising and top colonies for schooling was also Pennsylvania. First school began in 1683, taught reading, writing, and keeping accounts. Then, in some fashion, every Quaker community provided for the elementary teaching of children. More advanced training in classical languages, history, literature, and etc. was offered at Friends Public School, which still exists in Philadelphia as William Penn Charter School. The school was free of the poor, but parents would be required to pay for their children. In Philadelphia, numerous private schools with no religious affiliation taught languages, mathematics, and natural science, and there were also night schools for adults. Nor the education of women entirely overlooked, for the private schools instructed the daughters of prosperous Philadelphians in French, music, dancing, painting, singing, grammar, and sometimes even bookkeeping. Pennsylvania has both great cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, but Pennsylvania for sure does have one of the most peaceful and nice countrysides. The beautiful countryside, along with the agriculture and the lifestyle, is for sure to make you happy for the rest of your life. There's also relatively no tensions between them and anyone else because they're Quakers. They don't have problems with no one. Pennsylvania also has great and famous people like Benjamin Franklin, Thomas McCain, Robert Morris, and Thomas Paine. Some major events also happened there as well. like slave trade being outlawed for the first time ever in a written protest. As you can see, there's a lot of things to do in Pennsylvania, and it's for sure worth it to move there.